I asked Reddit who to take in fantasy football, and well, they tried to screw me. But there were some people out there who were actually trying to give me some good fantasy football advice. So I wrote down every single player who got more than 10 upvotes in my post and got every single one of them in an underdog best ball draft. And since you're past the intro, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see some more fantasy football videos. At pick 2, I had a lot of leeway. No top player was commented, and I could get the next 2 players with the highest ADP with my next 2 picks. So I took J-Jeff. It's a best ball platform. I need 3 wide receivers and a flex, and you know J-Jeff's a killer. My next 2 picks were pretty easy because I didn't have to think. I knew I had to take Calvin Ridley and Lamar Jackson because they got 37 and 26 upvotes respectively. Since my next pick wasn't until pick 47 overall, I had to take them here. However, at pick 47, I had some leeway again. Since there was no player that I had to take here, I figured I'd play it safe again and get Najee. Because I was kind of fearful that with all the players that I had to get, I wasn't really going to get another solid running back. So I needed to make sure that I was going to get a running back that I knew was going to get volume. Volume's king of fantasy football. Even if Najee isn't going to be super efficient again this year, you know he's going to get the touches, which is kind of what I needed on this roster. Then at pick 50, I took JSN, who had 17 upvotes. Hopefully he'll land in a good spot. I'm a big fan of JSN's talent, and especially as it relates to fantasy football. He's going to get a lot of those high-value targets. So very happy with landing JSN. And then at pick 71 and 74, we actually have the players with the second and third highest upvotes. Kadarius Toney and Joe Mixon. Now, with Toney, he's got a ton of upside being on the Chiefs this year. They haven't brought anyone else in since letting Juju go. I'd be a little surprised, but not super surprised if they took a wide receiver in this draft. I don't feel super threatened by Sky Moore right now. And Toney he's electric. He had time to kind of learn the playbook this season and throughout this offseason. So I think this late in underdog through wide receiver 1 flex, pretty solid pick here. And then with Joe Mixon, I mean, it's a tough one. Rumors that he was going to get cut, had the court case that then got dropped, still might get suspended, who knows? It's the NFL. You never know how Goodell's going to hand out his suspensions. So, I mean, it's early, which is why he's this late, because we have no idea what's going to happen, how many games he's going to play. Is he going to be a Bengal? Who knows? But if he is a Bengal this year, got some pretty good value there. Pretty good. With my next 2 picks, took Elijah Moore, 11 upvotes, and Russell Wilson, 43 upvotes. Now, Moore at the time, which was this past weekend, was a super speculative pick. Because guess what? We had no idea where Rodgers was going. Now we got Rodgers, went on the Pat McAfee show, basically said it's just a matter of time until he's a New York Jet. So this pick, take it to the bank, baby. We got him Moore showed a lot of talent his rookie season. Admittedly, the sophomore season, not too great. But we got A-Rod now. That skyrocketing value, baby. And then obviously with Wilson, got Sean Payton with him now. There's rumors that they might trade Sutton or Judy or at least one of their receivers. But in terms of their free agent moves so far, which we didn't have when I did this draft, they shored up their O-line. Happy with that. They still have a decent amount of weapons on that offense. Won't see me complaining about Russell Wilson this late as the second QB on our team, especially in best ball where QBs go pretty high. I'm pretty happy with it. And then these next 3 picks were up to me because, again, none of the commented players that I had were really necessary to take at this range. So with the first one, I took Juju. Now, I think we've kind of learned all we need to about Juju. He's not amazing. All the hype from his rookie season, I think we kind of got to realize he's never going to be like that wide receiver. And he also didn't have a landing spot yet. Now, with the Patriots, he's the only one they got right now. Blanking on his name, but the other guy went to the Raiders, paired up with Garoppolo and McDaniel. He's all they got. So I'm very happy with the pick so far. I kind of took it just as a safe asset, regardless of where Juju land. I knew he was going to at least have a solid role, and I wanted some decent depth in this wide receiver core for this team. But I understand Patriots' low-volume passing offense, most likely. But I'm happy with where he landed and where I got him in this draft. I mean, solid role player for this fantasy football team because he's gonna be decent. Some weeks he'll blow up. Most weeks he's gonna give us a solid floor on our wide receivers, and that's all I can really ask for with this team. And the crazy picks I got to deal with later. Now, with the other two picks, we really needed to fill out our team needs. And since we only had 4 more picks total, not determined by Reddit, the most clear need was tight end. And I was pretty happy when I landed Dawson Knox. But personally, on Underdog, if I miss out on one of the top 3 tight ends, I'm usually a fan of taking 3 late flyer tight ends over drafting one of these middle round ones. But, we're at the mercy of Reddit right now, so landed Dawson Knox, who should have a ton of weekly TD upside. It's what he'll be every year. He's never going to be a great, amazing tight end for fantasy, but in best ball, he's going to be solid because he always has that weekly TD upside with Josh Allen. And then at pick 143, the running backs had thinned out pretty heavy, but we really needed to address the depth there. So I went out and took Sean Tucker and Zach Evans, 143 and 167, respectively. Both rookie running backs in this year's draft. No landing spot yet, obviously. And neither of them are really favorites of mine. I like Tucker. I don't love him. Kind of a similar thing with Zach Evans. But certainly a chance that they both land in a great landing spot after the draft. Some team loves them, gives them decent draft capital. So that kind of led me to prefer them and their wide range of outcomes, I should say, this early in the offseason over some of the other guys that were available. And just before taking Evans, we had our last decent suggestion from Reddit, which was Alec Pierce. Obviously, no quarterback of much note, glamour tied with Alec Pierce right now, but you have to assume they're going to take someone in the draft. Just who? So, Pierce isn't someone that I'm in love with, but you'd have to assume going to get a QB. Hopefully they develop a rapport this offseason. It is what it is, but Pierce isn't a horrible suggestion like the ones we're going to get to right now. So speaking of them, let's get to the players that everyone's been waiting for in the last 5 picks of this underdog draft, courtesy of r/fantasy football. First up, we have the player with by far the most upvotes, and that's Josh Gordon. Thanks, guys. Next at 71 upvotes, we have Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe I'll get a little bit of value out of Juszczyk. I would draft him at underdog, but there's a chance, maybe he vultures a couple TDs, gives me something this year. Because, he's really the only player in this bunch that has even a slim chance of helping out this team. Speaking of the next one, we got the long neck demon. 56 upvotes. Big Mike Glennon joining the squad. You gotta love it. Really excited to have that guy on the team. And then with the last 2 picks, we got Henry Ruggs, 32 upvotes, and the great Nathan Peterman at 22 upvotes. Everybody's favorite quarterbacks really joining the squad here. And that gave us this beautiful team. And as a final note, there were 2 players who received more than 10 upvotes, but were not in Underdog's pool of players to pick from. Those 2 being Ryan Leaf and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Sorry, guys. Were you really expecting them to be on there? I don't know. If Ben Jarvis Green Ellis was on there, it would have been pretty funny, though. I won't lie. Honestly, though, considering the hand we were dealt, I'm not too upset with this team. Certainly a risky group of players, but I think there's actually a chance this team can qualify for the second round of this tournament that I joined it in. And at the least, I had a lot of fun trying to piece this entire thing together after receiving all the comments. Given the limitations that I had in this draft, it was actually pretty fun trying to figure it out, plan out this draft ahead of time, and figure out how I was going to get all of these bums on the squad. But at the end of the day, if you guys have any other ideas, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to do a similar thing like this in the future. And thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.